I'm going to say a few words before I actually open this wonderful event. And it is indeed a privilege to open this wonderful reflections event here in Chichester. And I must thank Mark Pusey for inviting me to speak and for all those who have put together this reflections event. I salute you. But before I make the noise about it and ring the bell, I'd like to share with you some of the experiences of how COVID impacted us and how we cope with it for what was an unprecedented pandemic here in the Chichester district. It had an impact on every single one of us, affecting our well-being and emotional health. So we're all here today to remember and reflect, particularly on the loved ones we lost and were able to visit or say goodbye to. Over 21,000 people died in West Sussex, and Chichester district was far from exempt, and we have lost 329 family and friends. The places that suffered most were the care homes, and many people with dementia were lost there too. The stress on carers was at an all-time high. How do you explain to a dementia sufferer that you can't see them, or that they need to take precautions? They just don't. Many carers felt unable to cope with the normal physical support from Sage House and all those wonderful organisations we have here in Chichester. I was mayor for the 2 years of the pandemic and was really proud how the community stepped up to meet the many challenges. The same community that opened its arms to the Ukrainian refugees. For the pandemic here in Chichester, we had the very following. West Sussex County Council ran a hub that looked after the most vulnerable, needing to be shielded. The District Council looked after the homeless and did a brilliant job at distributing the government money support for the businesses. As Mayor, I led the City Council, who brought all the voluntary organisations such as the Food Bank, UK Harvest, Rotary, the Residents Association, the churches, and of course our fantastic St Richard's Hospital into one coordination group, which was called Chichester Community Network. Gaps in support were quickly identified, and a Mayor's Hardship Fund was set for those who were left with nothing due to the doctor. Many were in a bad state, and I know that at least 30 of the 70 people we helped, if we had not given them immediate help, would have committed suicide without mercy. They were indeed dark days, but in many ways rewarding to see how our community worked so well. I did have to go and shout at the NHS for a vaccination centre in Chichester, but other than that, I think we did very well. The result was that Chichester had some of the lowest COVID-19 infection rates in the country. My reflections are contained in this report, containing 20 of the personal open letters from the Mayor I wrote to the community. I look forward to also reading and sharing your personal reflections. So, it is now the part I really enjoy, so fingers in the air and ready for the shout. Here we go. Hey! 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 Hey!
Pardon?
I hereby declare this reflections event open and invite you to view the magnificent reflection sculpture of 200. I think they are forget-me-nots from Africa, if that's right. But I now call upon the Reverend Janet Hopwell for the blessing. Thank you, and God save the Queen!
God save the Queen!
Now, if we may, a moment's silence. As the rain hides the stars, as the autumn mist hides the hills, as the clouds veil the blue of the sky, so the dark happenings of my lot hide the shining of your face. Yet if I may hold your hand in the darkness, it is enough, since I know that though I may stumble in my going, you do not fall. Amen. Thank you.
My mother as a barn owl by Alicia. Dusk and driving home past Heath Farm, the southern tip of Borley Wood, she enters the space between car, trees, skims the slipstream, and open-fanned and marching speed drops down, turns the flat moon on her face to stare straight at me through the glass. We travel on like this until a break in the trees, when she tilts sideways, floats off over a field of winter grass, the darkening shoulders of beech oak. And that's to the memory of Yvonne Field. The long goodbye. I am losing you every day, dear Mum. Little more goes by the way. Where's my Julie, I hear you say through the glass. Will she come back another day? Some days I'm Sue, and that's fine, or I'm Oi, or I'm anyone. But now my mum is right by my side, for my heart stays wide open. You know not now of our shared past, our holidays and good times. My children are a mystery, strangers now to you it seems. And there we are, just behind glass. My mum has gone, but you're still here, a new mum now, and still so dear. You like to smile, and through the pain, I smile and laugh with you again. I'm losing you, of that I'm sure. You aren't the mum that I had before. Your body hurts, and so do you. I know you know that you are ill. You can't say how, but the struggle's real, and still I see you just through the glass. How much longer will you cope with all that pain? I can only hope that you will stay with me a while, and I will try to smile and smile at you through the glass. And now, cross and frustrated, not really who you are, you speak so harshly. You love us still, and give love so freely. I'm losing you, of that I'm sure, but please stay, just one more day, behind the glass. And that's to the memory of Phyllis Hill.
A minute's silence for those we've lost, loved ones who should be here. We stand, heads bowed, hearts full of grief, as we recall the year. Church bells that sound are mourning too. It's as though they are counting time. They're welcoming the ones who've passed. With every mournful chime, we must believe that there is hope, that they are free from pain. We will give thanks that we're alive, and that we'll meet again. So as the minute ticks away, tears fresh on every cheek, we hope and pray the future will never be so bleak. So, thank you for listening.
On to task and finish groups with the Joint Dementia Strategy. And one of the groups that we've been in, the End of Life group, we really were talking about how do we remember people who've died, what is it that we do? And it took me back to a conversation that I had with one of our carers, Ronnie, right very early on in the pandemic. And his lovely wife, Dolly, she broke her hip, she went into hospital, and then from there had to go into a care home. And the care home were fantastic, because even though they knew that COVID was dangerous, they knew the risks, they allowed Ronnie to come into the care home for the last few days of Dolly's life so he could spend that time with her. And I spoke to him a few days after Dolly had passed, and he said to me, Martha, one day we'll have a memorial service for Dolly. And that stuck with me, and that is what today is all about. It's remembering Dolly, it's remembering Yvonne, it's remembering Phyllis, It's remembering Jane, who was one of our staff who sadly passed away in September of last year, very, very suddenly. Today is about them, it's about Richard, it's about all of our people that we have loved and that we have lost. And we would just really welcome if anybody would like to come and say anything about anybody that they've lost. You are more than welcome to just come up and say anything. Or as Janet was saying, I've got your name then, this is always handy. As Janet was saying, if you just want to say their name out loud or just keep it within your heart, that's okay too. But I'd welcome anyone if you want to come and say a few words, please do.
And I think it sums up what we all felt about what was going on. So this is the pandemic poem. It's very short, to be pleased to know. It goes: talk down, shut down, close down, lock down, melt down, pour down, blown down, mark down, masked up, fed up.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm Amanda Jupp. I'm the lead member of West Sussex County Council for Adult Social Care, and it's wonderful when groups like this get together and produce something that means so much to so many. And I really want to say a big thank you to you all for organising this, for bringing some pleasure, some joy in times of pain and bereavement. So what you've done is fantastic, and we salute you for all your hard work and for having a permanent memorial. I think it's just wonderful. So thank you all for everything you've done.